Hi, I'm Mayce.
And I'm Missy.
We're best friends
and business partners. And each week, we're going to bring you a quote that inspires us, and we're going to talk about it.
Join us as we break down our favorite impactful messages for leadership and share how you can apply them to lead with confidence and purpose.
Get ready for a fun and authentic journey into leadership, life, and everything in between.
Hey, bestie.
Hello, bestie. It's another Tuesday, and here we are with another great guest and a really good quote.
Yeah, this one is going to dive into self-leadership, which we know is the hardest part of leadership, isn't it?
Absolutely is, yes.
I mean, I think a lot of people think leaders, like when they think leaders, they think CEO, manager, supervisor, someone in business. But what if leadership starts with deciding internally that you're going to take your life back, right?
Yes.
I mean, I think Mindi Fetterman, who is our guest today, she is going to be such a strong speaker in this area because she's an advocate, she's a guide, she's a leader whose journey really is going to show us as we talk to her that real leadership begins when you choose to stand up, speak out, and build something bigger than yourself.
Wow, that's great. Well, welcome, Mindi. We are thrilled to have you here today to dive into a quote that is really focused on self-leadership. Okay, So here's the quote. Are y'all ready?
We're ready.
It doesn't matter who you are or where you came from. The ability to triumph begins with you. Always. And that was quoted from Oprah Winfrey.
It's so good because I think sometimes like the hardest thing is to believe that you're already enough, right? That your story, your strength, your starting point, it all matters. So Mindi, we want to start with you. We want you to tell us when you hear the quote, and I'll say it again, it doesn't matter who you are or where you came from. The ability to triumph always begins with you, always. When you hear that, what comes to mind?
Oh gosh. Okay. First of all, let me just say hi.
Hi.
M&M.
Hi.
I call you M&M, so
And
I don't
you're our
like.
triple M, so it's
I'm the triple M
today.
Yeah, the triple M. I want to be the green M.
The one with the lashes. We know who she is.
Yeah,
Yes.
we do.
Yeah, exactly. So, oh gosh. So thank you so much for having me, and thank you for giving me a quote by Oprah. I mean, that's already like so, awesome. So the first thing when you were reading that quote. So I work one-on-one with clients, and as you said, I'm an advocate. I have been saying forever to people who feel like they're not worthy that it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, what you've been through. The fact that you are here, taking space, breathing the air that you are breathing, that I am breathing, just because you are here, you are worthy.
Yes.
And it just starts with that. As a human being, nobody is more or less worthy because of your experience, your job, your hair color, what's in your wallet. It doesn't make a difference. As humans, we are equally worthy, and that is our starting point.
Yeah, that's so good. If you woke up with a breath today, you are worthy. And I think as I think about that quote, the word triumph, right, is a big word. And it's not about perfection or performance. It's about rising.
Yeah.
And what I love about this quote is that it reminds us that the power isn't out there somewhere, right? It's already inside us.
Yeah, I think it's exactly what Mindi just said, right? Like if you woke up, no matter your background, no matter your title, no matter your trauma, no matter your timeline, you are not disqualified. You're already equipped. And as you know, obviously listeners, that this podcast is one that attracts leaders. We know that leadership isn't a title or a position. It's all about influence. So Mindi, let us ask you, when you think of the word leadership, do you have a personal definition? What comes to mind when you think of leadership?
Well, I definitely don't think about being in control of other people or, having an agenda and having people, do as I say and walk like I walk. It really is about showing up as my best self
Mm.
every day. Um, and that's going to look different every single day, but being accountable, trying to set and stick to my boundaries, both physical, time, emotional, being clear with my communication, being authentic, being
We love that
vulnerable,
one.
right? Like all of those things are the values that I try to live by every single day. And by doing that, I feel like I'm setting the tone that I want others to do around me. So, I really believe in like continuing to try to rise and lift as you rise, right?
Yeah.
And that's another quote.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's personal leadership.
Yeah. It's great.
So good.
It's
So
great.
good. And obviously with you being an advocate, you've been through some stuff, right? You've probably have a list of things that you could write out as maybe trauma or obstacles you had to overcome. How did your personal journey, how did it affect your leadership style? Meaning this, how are you able to find purpose from your pain or from experiences that you went through?
Well, it's such a difficult question, and it's also so incredibly easy at the same time. And I have an itch at the bottom of my foot, so I'm distracted. So give me a second. Okay, I got it. All right. So, boy, oh boy, oh boy, that's so it's multi-layered. So, I'm Jewish, and in my faith, we have a saying, "Tikkun Olam," which is to repair the world and repair one's soul. It repairs the world, and it's something that is so deeply held in my DNA. And I think when I started my healing journey, it became evident that the trauma was so much bigger than me and the healing was so much bigger than me. And it really allowed me to realize that I couldn't do it alone. I needed community, I
Mm-hmm.
needed sisterhood, I needed a team. And as I was relying on other people to help as resources to heal myself, I in turn was helping them. And it became a natural sort of cyclical thing where it became part of my leadership that as I was healing, I was helping others heal.
Oh,
But it was
yeah.
so organic and it
Right.
just felt like it was part of what was necessity to keep moving forward, right?
Yeah.
Was to take on the strength of other people, continue to learn, and also continue to give that out to others.
Yeah.
So that's the best way I can
Yeah.
answer
It's
it.
so good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
great,
It's so
great
good.
answer.
Let me ask you this. How much do you believe that your self belief or your self talk becomes who you are?
Oh, 100%. I mean, we are our thoughts, we are our words, we are our actions. It's all interconnected. And I'm a little bit of a science nerd, and I don't want to get too down the rabbit hole of neurobiology, but our nervous systems are geniuses, and it's so ingrained and wild and intuitive. So, really, like our neurobiology, the things that are ingrained in us that we believe does become our actions, and then our actions sort of like play out what is our reality. So
Absolutely.
absolutely. So, if our cognition is skewed, it's sort of what comes first, the chicken or the egg.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
our cognition, we can change.
Yeah.
So, if you recognize a pattern in your thoughts and your behaviors and in your verbiage, and you want to change that, you are literally going to be changing everything as an effect around you.
Mm.
For sure.
So it's super
Macy,
powerful.
Macy and I always say we are strong believers that thoughts are things and the words you say to yourself really matter and how you show up in the results that you have in life and moving toward goals. All your thoughts and your words are the foundation for what you bring to the world.
You know,
Absolutely.
we had a guest recently on the show that said we listen to ourselves more than we talk to ourselves. And that like stuck and struck with me
Me too, Macy.
so deeply. Like we're listening to all the negativity. I think we tend to be really hard on ourselves.
Hmm.
And we've got to flip that script where we're not just saying all the or we're not listening to all the negative, but we're speaking all the positive. Mindi, let me ask you this. What was the moment? Because I know you had to have had a moment or a series of moments that you realize that your healing journey could become a platform to help other people lead themselves better. Hey, bestie, can I be real about something? Leadership can feel lonely, doesn't it?
It can, especially when you're the one that everyone else is looking to for answers, but you've got questions of your own.
But we have a solution. We created Impactful Messages, a community for those who are built to lead.
It's a private space where real leaders can connect, grow, and get practical insight to lead with purpose.
That's right. There's no fluff, just real talk, real tools, and real people who, well, they get it.
That's right. And so if you're looking for leadership people, then this is your group. Come join us at www.inspiredpeopleinspirepeople.com.
So, boy, I actually had several. It wasn't a one-time thing. I certainly never set out to do the work that I do now. I wasn't going to walk the planet and share about sexual abuse and rape. You know, I wanted to work in the shoe department of the store I was at and get a discount and be in retail. So it was many different things that led to it. But um, one of the very first times that I ever shared publicly about my story, there was a line out the door of people waiting to speak to me afterwards. And it wasn't to tell me, oh, you're so fabulous. And
Right.
oh, what a great, it was none of that. It was literally, you just told my story.
Yeah.
And, you know, I always use the expression, a fish doesn't know it's wet. I knew from movies and books, that these things happen, but it wasn't until that moment that I realized it's happening here, like in this room to these people that I know. So they were sharing with me that we had these similar experiences, but they were also saying nobody had actually ever verbalized these things and made it sound it's not normal, but normalized that this is real and that healing is possible. And so in that moment, that afternoon, I realized, okay, now what? Now we're exposing it, this issue that's in plain sight, but what do we do with it? And I felt called in that moment, like, okay, we can do better. People shouldn't be sharing their secrets with me in this room for the first time. And so it was that afternoon, and then there were several more experiences like that where it just became so evident that we needed more spaces and places for people to be able to share their truth and come together and support each other around these really difficult topics, which and I'm speaking, sexual trauma, which is still to this day so incredibly taboo. But I wanted it to be, like this. You can just talk to your girlfriend, and
Right.
the less taboo it is, then we take the shame away, because why should I feel ashamed of something that somebody else did to me?
Right.
There's nothing
Oh,
nothing shameful about me,
yeah.
right? I got that so clearly, and I don't know why, but I got it. And so I
Well,
wanted to make
Well,
we're
sure other
glad
people.
that you
we
did.
are. And what you did is you took your mess and you turned it into a message that is creating impact and leading others to do the same thing. So I want to ask you, what do you say to someone, Mindi, who thinks I could never be a leader because of my past?
So it's really a culmination of everything that we just talked about, right? Like if you believe that you cannot, then that is true. So what you believe is going to be your reality. If you want more, if you want better, then that is possible for you too, right? And you're not any more worthy than me. you're not any less worthy than me. You have the same capacity for healing, again, because it's so integrated in us.
Mm-hmm.
And you are already a leader just by showing up and telling your truth. So it doesn't mean that you have to get on a stage. It doesn't mean that you have to write an op-ed. It doesn't mean that you have to write a 12-step, book. It means that you just have to show up in your life and be authentic and share your truth. And that is your leadership. And by doing that, it has a ripple effect to others. And it might just be somebody in your family. It might be your BFF. It might be, your partner. It might be a colleague. But that's the integral, small, bite-sized leadership that changes the world. And it starts with your truth.
So good.
I mean, I love that. And I think too, what our hope is by doing this episode is that if there is someone that is suffering in silence, that they will, when we get to ask you, how they could reach out, is that they're saying, this girl is just like me.
Yes.
And I want, I want to talk to her. I want to get to know her. Let me ask you this, Mindi, and we've not asked this of any guest. So I'm curious what your answer will be. If your younger self could see you now, you're not surviving. I mean, you are a survivor, but that's not how you live your life. You're not a survivor. You're thriving. You're leading the way for other people. What do you think your younger self would say? And then a second question is, what would you like to say now to that person?
Oh, good question, Mayce.
So I would hope that my younger self seeing me today would say, oh, hot damn, I want to be just like you one day.
Mm.
I would love to know that I would be a really great role model for that girl.
Mm.
Mm.
And looking back, I wish that I could say to my younger self, you'll be okay in the ambiguity. You don't have to have the answers and you don't have to see your path. You just have to keep yourself in motion and it'll come. Just keep moving.
Keep moving forward. So good.
So good.
Okay, listeners, it's time to share the big idea for the week. If you only take one thing away from this episode, let it be this. No matter who you are or where you come from, the power to lead, to rise, to create transformation and that ripple effect, it starts with you. Not with credentials and not with someone else's approval, and not even with the perfect plan. The ability to triumph, it begins when you decide that your story, your voice, and your presence matter. And that decision is the most radical act of leadership that you can make.
That's right. I mean, real leadership isn't about being the loudest or the most polished. It's about being what Mindi said. It's about being vulnerable. It's about being honest. It's about being authentic. It's about choosing to lead from within, to take everything that you've lived through and turn it into the light for someone else's path. Because when you lead from where you truly are, from who you truly are, you don't just succeed. Quite frankly, you give other people permission to do the same.
So good.
So good.
Love
so
that.
Mindi, obviously, we are just thrilled that you said yes to joining us today. We're so thankful for you spending some time with us. And like I said at the beginning, like sharing a different lens of what leadership could look like, right? Because it isn't about being in a boardroom and, having a seat at that kind of table. It's about really leading yourself first.
Yeah. And what significant things can you do with your story? But before we let you go, Mindi, how can our leaders stay connected with you?
Oh, I love that. I hope everybody that's listening does stay connected with me. So you could go to realgroundedtherapy.com and you can sign up for my newsletter there. My phone number is there. I don't remember it off the top of my head, so I'm not going to pretend to give it to you. But all the information is there on the website.
And we're
Great.
going to put that in the show notes.
We will. And I think I said, how can our leaders stay connected with you? But listeners, I'm not sure what I said, but I'm just so enthralled with your story.
Well, our listeners
our
are
listeners are
leaders.
leaders.
So there
That's
you
what I
go.
was about to say.
There
And
you
so
go.
also, Mindi, we always love to ask this question. What's your favorite leadership quote?
Oh, okay. So I have this one written down. What we do is more important than what we say or what we say we believe. And that's by Bell Hooks.
Really
Very
good.
And
Really good.
listeners, do you have a favorite leadership quote? Let us know, and we may spotlight it on a future episode.
We'll be back next week with another quote and more leadership insights. And you know what we're going to do? We're gonna talk about it. Bye,
All right.
bestie.
Bye, bestie.
Bye, Mindi. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. If you're enjoying this show, please show us some love by clicking the 3 dots to download the podcast, leave us a 5-star rating on your podcast app, and talk about it with other leaders to help them find the show from any of the major podcast apps. We'd love for you to follow us on social media too. Impactful with an M _ messages on Instagram and Impactful Messages on LinkedIn.